Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's funny to tears. Today we're diving into a topic that I'm pretty sure almost everyone has experienced. The accidental text. You know the one I'm talking about. That split second of pure, cold panic when you realize you've sent a deeply personal, hilariously embarrassing or just plain weird message to the wrong person. It's that moment your heart drops into your stomach, and you frantically start smashing the unsend button, praying to the tech gods that it hasn't been seen yet. We've all been there. Maybe you were complaining about your boss and accidentally sent the message to your boss. Or perhaps you were sending a super mushy, lovey-dovey text meant for your partner, but it ended up going to your dad instead. Awkward. These little digital mishaps are the stuff of modern legend, creating stories that are so cringeworthy, you can't help but laugh until you cry. So today, we're going to share some of the most epic accidental text fails that will make you feel a whole lot better about your own mistakes. Let's kick things off with a classic wrong number scenario. A friend of mine, let's call her Sarah, was trying to organize a surprise party for her boyfriend. She created a group chat with all his friends and sent out the master plan. Okay everyone, Mission Surprise Dan is a go. He thinks we're just having a quiet dinner. Remember, everyone hide in the living room at 7 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. A few moments later, she gets a reply from an unknown number. It just said, "Sounds great, but who's Dan? And who is this?" It turns out, in her haste, she had typed one digit wrong and invited a complete stranger to the party. The best part? The stranger, whose name was Mark, actually replied, "Well, I'm free on Saturday. Should I bring a gift?" Sarah, mortified but also amused, explained the situation. They had a good laugh, and Mark politely declined the invitation, wishing Dan a happy birthday. I guess the surprise was almost spoiled for Dan, but instead it was just shared with a random, very good-humored stranger. Then there's the dreaded autocorrect fail, which is a whole category of its own. It's like your phone has a mischievous mind and wants to cause as much chaos as possible. One of my favorite stories is about a guy who was texting his new girlfriend. He wanted to tell her, "I'm having such a great time with you, I can't wait to see you again." A sweet, normal message, right? Well, his phone decided to correct one crucial word. The message she received was, "I'm having such a great time with you, I can't wait to see you again." Can you imagine the confusion? She replied with just a single question mark. He looked back at what he sent and almost had a heart attack. He spent the next 10 minutes frantically typing apologies and explaining that his phone has a personal vendetta against his love life. Luckily, she had a great sense of humor and found it hilarious. They even joke about it now, saying their relationship is lawsuit-worthy. But what about when the accidental text goes to a family member? That's where things get truly legendary. I heard about a woman who was venting to her sister about their mom's, let's say, unique cooking skills. She texted, "I love Mom, but if I have to eat her dry mystery meat casserole one more time, I think I'm going to run away from home. It's like chewing on a shoe." A perfectly normal sibling complaint. Except, she didn't send it to her sister. She sent it directly to her mom. The silence that followed was deafening. After what felt like an eternity, her mom simply replied, "The shoe recipe is a family secret, and you're not getting any for dinner tonight." Mic drop. The mom handled it with such savage grace it was almost impressive. The daughter had to do some serious damage control with flowers and a promise to eat whatever was served with a smile for the next month. Lesson learned: always, always, always double-check the recipient before you criticize a family recipe. Of course, the workplace is another minefield for accidental texts. Sending a message complaining about a coworker to that very coworker is a rite of passage for some, I swear. But this next one is even better. A guy named Tom was in a boring all-day meeting. To entertain himself, he started texting his work buddy, who was sitting across the room. He sent, "This meeting is so boring, I think my soul is trying to escape my body. I'd rather be watching paint dry." A moment later, the big projector screen at the front of the room, which was connected to the presenter's laptop, suddenly displayed Tom's text. The presenter had his phone notifications mirrored to his screen. The entire room, including the CEO, saw Tom's desperate plea. The room went dead silent. Tom said he wished the floor would swallow him whole. The presenter just stared at the screen, then at Tom, and with a completely straight face said, "Well, Tom, I'll try to make the next slide a little less soul-crushing." The whole room burst into laughter, and Tom became a legend for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes, though, these accidents can have surprisingly wholesome outcomes. A woman shared a story about accidentally texting a photo of her new puppy to a number she thought was her friend's. The picture showed a tiny golden retriever puppy fast asleep in a laundry basket. A few minutes later, she got a reply from the wrong number. It was an older man who wrote, "I don't know who you are, but this picture has made my entire day. I lost my golden retriever of 15 years last month, and seeing this little one brought a huge smile to my face. Thank you." They ended up texting back and forth for a bit, sharing stories about their dogs. It was a completely random connection sparked by a simple mistake, but it brought a moment of joy to someone who really needed it. It just goes to show that not all accidental texts end in pure embarrassment. Sometimes they can lead to a little bit of unexpected human connection. But let's be honest, most of them are just plain funny. Like the person who was trying to text their friend a grocery list. They meant to type, "Get milk, eggs, and bread." But thanks to a combination of autocorrect and not paying attention, they sent, "Get milk, eggs, and dread." Their friend replied, "Okay, I've got the milk and eggs. Where do I pick up the existential dread? Is that in the international aisle?" Or how about the parent who was trying to text their teenager, "What time will you be home? We need to talk." But it auto-corrected to, "What time will you be home? We need to taco." The teenager replied, 5 p.m. And I am always ready to taco. It completely diffused a potentially serious conversation and turned it into a plan for dinner. Sometimes a well-timed typo is all you need to lighten the mood. Thinking about all these stories makes you wonder, what's the psychology behind it? We're so used to communicating instantly that our fingers often move faster than our brains. We're juggling multiple conversations, multitasking, and firing off replies without giving them a second thought. It's the perfect recipe for digital disaster. And that unsend feature? It's a lifesaver, but it's also a trap. It gives us a false sense of security. You have a very small window to correct your mistake, and if the other person sees it before you can delete it, the damage is done. The evidence is out there. All you can do is own it, laugh at yourself, and hope the other person has a good sense of humor. So what's the worst accidental text you've ever sent or received? I would absolutely love to hear your stories, so please drop them in the comments below. Let's share in the collective cringe and have a good laugh together. Because at the end of the day, these little mistakes are what make life interesting. They remind us that we're all human, we all mess up, and sometimes the best thing to do is just laugh it off. These moments become the stories we tell for years to come. The ones that make us say, "Remember that time when?" Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on It's Funny to Tears. I hope these stories brought a smile to your face and maybe made you feel a little less alone in your own texting mishaps. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our future content. Sharing your stories is what makes this community so special, so keep them coming. Stay safe, be kind, and always double-check who you're texting. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.